Welcome out. Here we are, round 2 of the Pro 2 Championship. Atlanta, make some noise. This is the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship, not only Pro, but Pro 2 as well. The second round, the third round of the Pro Championship. And we're about to introduce you to our top 16 drivers. We have some hardcore fans sticking it out. Some rain earlier, but now it looks like we got great conditions as we're seeing a lot of the drivers come up and greet these hectic fans. So, without further ado, if you would, please stand for the national anthem. And remove your hats.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, let's introduce you to our top 16 drivers here at Pro 2, round 2 of the Pro 2 Championship. Starting off with our #1 qualifying driver. He is in the Shango Nexon Tires BMW all the way from Las Vegas. #1 qualifier, Danny George. Up next after him, Committed Auto Services Achilles Radial S chassis vehicle from North Carolina, Austin Meeks. Moving on down the line, you can see the IS on the side of the S14. He's number 142, Randall Waters. All right, moving on down the line, again from Vancouver, British Columbia, the S14.5, Brodie Goble. He got on the podium at Orlando. He's from Washington, nameless performance, Achilles Radial S13. He is Travis Reeder. Coming all the way from Southern California, he is in the car number 888. It is Spike Chen. As it says on the side of his vehicle, he's from Nashville. He competes in MDU. Hey, he's just Hooman Rahimi. A vehicle that was prepared here in Atlanta, Georgia. Coro Works 350Z, easy for me to say. MDU champion, it is Alec Robbins. Another driver coming all the way from California, Achilles Radial Hateley E30. It is Andy Hateley. Moving on down the line, he's on Achilles Radial Lingenfelter Corvette, the Stratton Chevrolet number 33, the Dagger, Dirk Stratton. Keeping it international affair in Pro 2 as well. Coming to us from Budapest, Sylvester Drift Team, it is Sylvester Gorky. And a newcomer here to Pro 2 competition from Vallejo, he is number 55, Nick Phillippi. the Drift-O-Matic, the bright orange S chassis from Marysville, Washington. It is Matt Van Kirk. Another international driver coming to us from Norway, a vehicle formerly piloted by Formula Drift champion Frederick Osbo. Car number 153 from Norway, Ola Jaeger. Coming all the way from the land down under. We're talking about Perth, Australia. He's in the Ute. You scratch your head. What is that vehicle? He got on the podium in Orlando. Can he do it again? It is Josh Robinson. And last but definitely not least, the camo-colored Ford Mustang on Nexon tires, number 999, Trenton Beecham. There are your top 16 drivers. Road Atlanta, are you ready to send it? Here for round 2 of the Pro 2 Championship. And this is round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras, a.k.a. the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship. I'm Jared Deenda. Ryan Sage with me. We're going to get some insight from one of the judges, Ryan Lontaine. Lorette Nickel will be joining us tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us out here. An iconic track, 14 years we've been coming here. History will be made tonight. Once again, these Pro 2 drivers running and gunning for an effort in the Pro Championship as well. Let's party here under the lights at Road Atlanta.
So here we go, real quick as we bring in Ryan Lontaine. Ryan, just quickly as we go over some of the judging criteria, can you just give us a quick overview of the track as it's laid out here, some of the key points, and also what you guys are looking for into head-to-head matchups? You can see here we have 5 scored areas from qualifying. Those 5 scored areas are still going to be very important here in tandem. So we have inside clip 1, it's outside zone 1, outside zone 2, inside clip 2, and then inside clip 3. You can see the Excel decel map here up on the screen now. Where it's red, that means we are allowing drivers, and the chase drivers should be expecting the lead drivers to be slowing down in these areas. The green areas will indicate where we expect the drivers to maintain or be accelerating in those areas. So we have 2 slowdown areas on the track coming up on top of the hill here, right into outside zone 1 and outside zone 2. What we're looking for in tandem, the lead driver should be running as close to a 100-point qualifying run as possible. They are to make as little mistakes and be on the appropriate line with the right amount of angle, make no corrections throughout the run. Then the chase driver, their responsibility is to mimic that lead driver, stay as close as possible to them throughout the entire course, and mimic exactly where they do their transitions, where they initiate, and basically every move they make on the track should be mimicking what the lead driver does. That lead driver, we're going to be looking for them to accelerate and decelerate in these same areas right here. If they do decelerate in one of the green areas and it causes an issue for the chase driver, that may go against the lead driver. So they have to make sure they adhere to
to that map and try to put on the best run they possibly can in the lead position.
One of the things you guys talk about a lot, I think, in the judges meeting is really how to set yourself up properly for initiation as the lead driver. What are some of the responsibilities of the lead driver in particular on the initiation, and then also for the chase driver?
Well, the initiation needs to be done by that last standing cone. So as you come up down the hill, we have a 3-cone, a 2-cone, and then a 1-cone. The car needs to be at angle by the 1-cone. And then they need to not over-rotate and do a big reverse entry because those typically don't work that well for drivers. They tend to have to take angle out. So we want to see them maintain the same amount of angle all the way around the corner that they initiate with. You
guys seem to be scoring very well. Drivers that initiate with good angle, keep that angle in, but then get back on throttle either right at inside clip 1 or just a little bit past it. Why is that so important?
So when you see drivers coming in a little bit maybe too fast or offline, they have to lift to avoid going off the track, drivers right into that gravel area there. But when you get it just right, you can get on throttle really early and power through. It shows a lot of commitment, and it shows a lot of dedication on the lead driver's part, and they've really calculated where they need to be on track and to get on the throttle like that.
In qualifying today, we talked a little bit about what used to be zeros, now called incompletes. They're very similar to qualifying, but we've added one more to the list. So can you give us just a kind of a breakdown on the incompletes?
Yeah, so we have spinning out, just like in qualifying. We have opposite drift. So that means if the car's in the opposite direction, angle-wise, as it should be in a certain area, we will give an incomplete for that. Anything latchable that opens up while the car is out on track, hood, hatch, doors, trunk, anything like that, that'll be an incomplete. Any unsportsmanlike conduct or an inactive chase, and that means if the chase car is giving the lead driver too much room, he's too far behind, then in that case, that'll be considered an inactive chase and an incomplete.
Just one more thing that I wanted to talk about. We don't get to talk about it a lot because sometimes a lot of the courses are more outside zones, but we do allow passing. Just real quick, can you break down the passing rules for us and where that might happen on this course?
So passing can only occur at inside clipping points. So on this track, you'd only have a couple of areas for that to happen. Inside clip 1, as you're coming down the hill to initiation. We saw, I think, a textbook pass there. Osbo passed Forsberg a couple of years ago, and that it keeps being our really perfect explanation for how a pass should be done. And then here at inside clip 2 as well, it could definitely happen where the lead driver goes way offline, and that chase driver can squeeze in on the appropriate line, not taking away anything from that lead driver.
You talked about spinning oot. I know what spinning out is, but what's spinning oot?
Oot in a boot. Sorry for my Canadianness.
Sorry, Canadian jokes. Had to do it. Lighten it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, thanks for joining us out here. Pro2 Top 16. Thank you, Ryan Lantain. Thank you, Ryan Sage. Hashtag FDATL. Here's our first battle. Danny George versus Alec Robbins. His first foray into Pro2 competition. Danny George initiating that on the wrong side of that front clip. Way off course. Looks like he reinitiates. And that is going to be a major deduction for Danny George. So as Danny rounds out the rest of this run, Alec Robbins, that's a hard act to follow just right out of the gate, unfortunately for Danny George. So, Ryan, let's look at this again. He was on the wrong side of that front clip.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think also, too, for Robbins, because he's in the chase position here, there's going to be some problems there as well. You can see he straightens out on initiation. George goes over that inside clip. So this is one of those tough runs where you have quite a few mistakes from both drivers. You can see both drivers losing angle there. Robbins, again, in the chase position. George coming around this inside clip. So, Lantain, from your position here, it seems like both drivers had some pretty sizable mistakes. Can you, one way or the other, say who maybe made the bigger mistakes, even though it's apples to oranges?
So, in the case of a lead driver making a mistake that we would consider an incomplete, whether that's a spin, a straighten, going off track, whatever it might be, in that condition, the chase driver is not required to continue drifting. So, in this situation, I would say personally that Danny George would have an incomplete on the lead run. He went off course pretty badly, straightened, and drove up the hill quite a distance. So, in that case, I would give Danny George an incomplete, and I would not put Robbins at any fault for not being able to complete that run, as he had a really poor lead run to follow.
And that's to differentiate between if it happened the opposite way around, the lead driver would still need to complete the run.
Exactly. Right? If the chase car did it behind him, then the lead would still be responsible for finishing the run.
Here we go. Alec Robbins out front. Danny George in the chase position. Now Alec wraps it around that first front clip. He keeps angle up the hill. Good job by that Coro Work C, bringing it into the second rear clipping zone. Danny George now looking a lot more comfortable in that chase position. Gets up next to the C and then brings it out of the horseshoe. George compromising some angle there. And here comes Alec Robbins. And it looks like Alec Robbins, when he got that clean air out front, looks like he could put it run together. And then with Danny George's major mistake out front, that looks like that's going to be all she wrote for, unfortunately, for that Shango next entire BMW.
Well, I think it's really going to come down to, do the judges agree with Ryan and his assessment of Danny George, you know, having an incomplete on that first run. If they give a little bit of leeway, if you go back to that run, you'll notice that Robbins is making very sizable mistakes as well, and you could almost argue that it was independent. But Ryan is right. We do have a rule in the book that basically says if the lead driver does have an incomplete, that essentially washes the remainder of the run. So we'll know exactly what took place here as soon as the judges put up their result.
All right, so here we go. Going to the judges. Slide them left for Robbins, right for George, and it is unanimous. Alec Robbins gets the victory. Alec Robbins gets the victory, unfortunately. So, Ryan, as you said, that kind of came true where Danny George's at fault. You know, Lantain, is that the scenario?
Yeah, for me, definitely. And it comes down to, we know George was very capable of running this course. He was the #1 qualifier, did some great practice runs, just made a miscalculation on his initiation right there. And unfortunately, it cost him this tandem battle.
So the number 16 driver, Alec Robbins, takes out the #1 qualifying driver, Danny George. So Robbins advances on to the grade 8. Up next, Matt Van Kirk will lead. Trenton Beecham will give chase. All right, so here we go again. Matt Van Kirk, he's in the bright orange Drift-O-Matic S chassis. Trenton Beecham in the Ford Mustang. Through the start chicane, we got a clean start. And away they go. Trenton Beecham maybe giving himself too much room here. We'll see if that pays off. Ends up biting him in the end. Good job by Van Kirk. Transitions back. It looks like he lost some angle there. Now Beecham really gaining the proximity as Van Kirk brings in that second outer zone. Beecham, wow, a lot of slowing there from Van Kirk, but keeping it there. Look at that, banging doors, continuing through the course. Great job by Van Kirk and Beecham. That's fun. You love the door banging. That's really, you know, kind of an essence of drifting, but kudos for Van Kirk for keeping it in there.
We'll take a look at Van Kirk here. He gets a good jump on Beecham here, right through that first inside clip. Then you can see Beecham starting to close the door a little bit here. Van Kirk slows down, kind of straightens up a little bit, and then Beecham right there has to make an adjustment. Right here, this is where you talk about Jared getting super close here. Beecham right up along that side door of Van Kirk. Now down the hill here, losing a little bit of gap, then gaining it back. And we were so impressed with the Pro 2 guys coming out of Orlando. We're starting to see some of that here already in the second battle. And there's a huge opportunity for some of the top guys like Travis Reeder and Josh Robinson, with Kevin Lawrence being out of competition as the current leader right now. Those guys in particular, I would say the top 5 guys have a huge opportunity here to jump up.
So now Trenton Beecham will lead. Matt Van Kirk will give chase. Beecham from Southern California, Matt Van Kirk. Talked about him being from Washington, so quite a bit of distance from both these guys. Saw Trenton Beecham drift for the first time last year in Long Beach, and Van Kirk, I've seen different variety of his driving at Evergreen Drift and different Pacific Northwest events. Seen his vehicle. So here we go. Beecham out front, Van Kirk in the chase. See how Beecham initiates. Van Kirk, a good bit of distance between him. Oh, and Beecham, another driver miscalculating. So oh wow, look at that. It looks like the cone just gets caught up in Beecham's car. And it looks like, yeah, the cone, you can see the cone is stuck in his right front fender well. So Beecham unfortunately affected. And the cone's still there. Ryan, a real unfortunate circumstance. You can still see the cone at front right.
Yeah, it's completely locked up the front right, so it's a very unfortunate turn of events. You'll see Beecham as he initiates, he's going to get basically the 2 fronts right over that first inside clip. He's going to pick up the tire, and it's going to completely, I've never seen this before to this degree. It completely locks up the front wheel, and he has nowhere to go. So it was due to his mistake. He kind of suffered a little bit from what Danny George did, but Ryan, from your perspective, how big of a mistake was that? I mean, sadly, he picked up the cone, and the end result was he couldn't move the front tire, but how would you have treated that judging-wise?
Well, he actually had a mechanical break there. I think what happened is when he went off right here, the front control arm or something broke, and that's what's causing the front wheel to not work anymore.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can see
Look
it
at
flopping
that.
around. Yeah.
Yep.
The cone just happens to still be in there at that point. So due to him going off and having that mechanical issue, being in the lead position, the chase driver doesn't even need to continue, but the run is essentially over at that point. It'll be an incomplete for Trenton Beecham based on that. So he, again, like you said, made a miscalculation. Made a miscalculation coming down the hill. Just got a little too aggressive on the initiation and got inside on that inside clip.
So Van Kirk.
There's a great shot at it right there, Jared.
Yeah.
You can see it actually. Once he goes off the dirt, he hits the concrete.
Oof.
It's going to pop.
Yeah, that's completely hitting the back of the fender.
Yeah.
Van Kirk continues. He shuts it down. He knew he didn't have to finish it out. I mean, again, we tell him to shut it down. So, unfortunately, looks like Beecham will be getting a toe off. Not the way he wanted his weekend to end, but slide him left for Beecham, right for Van Kirk, and Matt Van Kirk gets the victory. Matt Van Kirk from Marysville, Washington. The Drift-O-Matic lives on to see another battle in the Great Eight. Welcome back as we get our next pair set up. You can see, looks like, I believe that's Spike Chen warming up his tires just off in the distance. Such a cool track, Ryan. I mean, memories flashing back for you, Atlanta. Like anything stand out in your mind?
I can actually, I mean, the biggest one for me is actually coming here the very first time when you know, we had a relationship with the track, and they were, you know, trying to get us to maybe come do an event out here, and we're like, you know, it would be great if you could somehow pave something to have it go back down.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll do it.
That's so rad.
And that pretty much started the horseshoe, and we've had some great memories here ever since. And, you know, and obviously probably the next best is you got some of the craziest fans,
right?
Especially these guys down here over the right that just kill it every year. So
yeah. The Drift Scum, and I guess they got some cool stuff down there that they're gonna fire up next year. But Team Rowdy, they've been coming here for years. I guess they're celebrating their anniversary, coming out here. 4 years, been doing their own VIP. So different levels of fans, and we appreciate each and every one of you. So thanks for joining us out here. 14 years for those hardcore fans that have been here since '04. Thank you, or if this is your first year, thank you so much, as the sport of drifting has really just progressed through the years, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Austin Meeks, Spike Chen, here we go. Meeks out front, and Chen will be giving chase, so here we go. All right, so Chen, a very early jump. Will that pay off? We'll see. Austin Meeks throws it in, committed on the side of the car and committed behind the wheel. Nice job. Spike Chen really lacking the angle there. Meeks, big transition. Oh boy, is it coming in too hot? No, Meeks rides the lightning. Well done by Austin Meeks. Out of the horseshoe. Well done by Austin Meeks. He looked like he was going to overcook it in the horseshoe, man.
Yeah, that's basically just totally exemplary run right there from Meeks, especially in the horseshoe. It looks like Chen maybe mistimes his jump a little bit here. You can see Meeks gets out, starts off nice, and then Meeks is going to get held up here just a little bit, and then Chen is going to be able to close the door, but with no angle. And then as Meeks goes up the hill, looks like he's going to fly off course, but he threads the needle right through that outer zone. That's exactly what you're looking for. He's still able to maintain close proximity to that inside clip. You can see he's putting down a massive smoke cloud here as he goes down the hill. Chen straightening out a little bit, so a good first run right here by Meeks. And now Chen is going to have a pretty big hill to climb here as he'll take the lead against Austin Meeks.
Actually a hill to descend here as Road Atlanta starts at the top of the hill. And again, so great execution there by Austin Meeks. Yeah, that smoke is thick, and we've seen kind of seen it all. We saw some heat earlier, we saw some rain, saw some wind, and now it is just calm. It is just a glassy, basically like a lake day. It's just absolutely perfect, but nice evening, but the smoke just lingers. So if everybody could just blow as hard as they can.
No, I'd definitely rather have this than what was predicted to be 90% rain, and we're just not seeing it right now, so we've been pretty lucky today.
Right. No, for sure. Yeah, don't. There you go. Oh, there, I felt the drop. No moisture as of yet.
Nope. Look at it. It's slow.
Ryan Sage, one of my fondest memories here. There's two that come to my mind. One involves our very own judge, Andy Yen, where he lost a tire. And that was a great one. That was a fun one where he ended up in the kitty litter, lost a tire. It was, that's when he actually drifted.
That was one of my favorite cars that he used to drive.
I'm kidding.
I like that car.
You had the gloomy on the side, right? Right? Didn't you have the gloomy, the bear dude on the side?
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then another fond memory is Alex Pfeiffer versus Sam Hooman.
Yeah.
The Corolla and the Dodge Viper. Here we go. Spike Chen out front. Austin Meeks in the chase position. Good initiation by Spike Chen. Meeks with more angle. Look at Meeks applying the Spike Chen. Oh. All right, so Spike shuts it down, but Meeks continues through the course. Unnecessary, but still really cool. Look at Meeks go. Woo! Lined up those Achilles radials. Well done, Austin Meeks. Doing it and winning it in grand fashion. Just gives him a little hate tap in the back end. Let's look at this again.
Well, you can see right here, Meeks is pacing Chen extremely well. I think Chen right here is going to get on the brakes for a second. He's going to come very slow through that section, basically shutting it down. Meeks has nowhere to go, gives him a little tap there, and then passes on through. Doesn't need to do that, but he certainly looks like he's on fire tonight. And Austin Meeks, a good bit of driving there.
And if you recall in Orlando, Meeks got the back end of it, or he got his back end tore off. Remember
the Goble, right?
His Goble and Meeks in Orlando. That got pretty Richter. So here it is again. You see Spike shut it down, and he taps the brakes. So it looks like unrelated incidents of Spike Chen coming to a halt, and then Meeks. So look, you can see Spike. He is shut down halfway back up the hill. So Meeks and Chen. Slide him right for Meeks and left for Chen. Austin Meeks gets the victory, advancing on into the Great 8. Congratulations to Austin Meeks. Unfortunately, Spike Chen, his weekend is done. Hey, if you haven't already, our presenting sponsor, Blackview Dash Cameras, the technology there, you and your car connected, you can win one. How? Well, pull out your phones. We got a moment. Text BVRA to 38714, BVRA, for a chance to win a free Blackview Dash Camera. Must be 18 or over to enter. Retail value $379. You and your car connected. So you get the app. You could basically document what goes on in your car. There were some pretty interesting incidents that Ken Gucci encountered, where basically he had his camera on the normal road in his Toyota 86, and a guy clipped him in the side lane. And fortunately, because he had his Blackview dash camera, he got the footage, got the guy's license plate number, and found out who it was and got his mirror fixed. Also, he narrowly avoided an accident too, which was pretty wild too. So the Blackview dash camera is definitely a cool tool. So again, get your phone out, text BVRA to 38714 for a chance to win a free Blackview dash camera. Must be 18 or over to enter. All right, Takata, the iconic green harnesses, has now made wallets. If you haven't picked yours up, find yours at TakataRacing.com. There's also autographed ones, now including Matt Field, but drivers are Frederick Osbo, Chris Forsberg, Ken Gucci, Mad Mike Woodit, and Ryan Turk. So find yours at TakataRacing.com, the Formula Drift Takata collaboration wallets. So it looks like Spike Chen slowly making his way with some assistance up the hill. And we will be seeing our next battle, Brodie Goble, Ola Jaeger. That's what I say at night sometimes when you get out there. Looks like our drivers are ready. Brodie Goble will lead. Ola Jaeger, piloting a vehicle that was deemed and nicknamed Chucky, This is a vehicle that was piloted by Frederick Osbo before, pulled out of the graveyard, and now here it is competing in Pro 2 with another Norwegian driver behind the wheel. All right, just want to make sure that the Road Atlanta Fire and Safety is prepared and go. So Road Atlanta waiting for their fire and safety team. All right, and looks like they are ready to go. Brodie Goble out front. Ola Jaeger in the Supra will be given chase. Brodie Goble from Vancouver, BC. And Brodie initiates into that first front clip. Ola Jaeger right there in the mix. Has to back off. Brodie Goble. Ton of horsepower. Flings it. Slingshots it up the hill. Oh, grips up too much. Looks like he got a little bit nervous there and checked up. A wide swing around that second front clip. And now back down the hill as the smoke lingers and transitions back up. Brodie Goble. Good execution by Goble early on, but when he went to that horseshoe, he checked up and it looks like he really got nervous.
Well, Goble, one of the most promising drivers in the Pro 2 lineup. Certainly a lot of potential here. You can see he gets a good start on that initiation right there. Jaeger goes a little bit wide on that first inside clip. Now he's playing catch up here. Now Goble has an opportunity to fill this entire zone, but he comes up a little bit short here. Left some points out on the table figuratively, not literally, of course. And then you can see right here, back down the hill. Good transition right here to the final turn. Nice and smooth right there. Just a tiny bit off that last inside clip. But Jaeger playing a little bit of catch up there from uphill and down to the hill to the finish line. So now we'll mix it up. Jaeger goes to the front. Goble chases him down.
Okay, so here we are. Ola Jaeger will now lead. Ryan, sometimes at night when I go to the bar, I say Ola Jaeger as well. Say, what's up, Jaeger?
Like, hey, give me Jaeger? I don't get it.
Like, yeah, like, hey, hi, Jaeger. Like,
It's cool, man.
Yeah, it's multiple uses.
I see. Ola.
Ola Jaeger.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, hey, Jaeger.
That was too sly for me.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, not literally, but figuratively. Here we go, Ola Jaeger, Brodie Goble. Let's see how Ola hangs out front. Japan Auto, Toyota Supra. Brodie Goble, great looking car. He calls it, what is it, S14.75, I think is what he kind of called it, with the 15 head and tail. And here we go. Chucky, the Supra. Ola Jaeger behind the wheel. Transitions in, you see a kind of a straight line. Lock it up, then makes it around that first front clip. Jaeger, a lot more comfortable out front. Let's see if Goble can make up some ground here. Flex his muscles. Both of them having a similar line around that second front clip in the keyhole. Now back down the hill. Jaeger using all of the course. And back up the hill goes Ola Jaeger and Brodie Goble. Ryan, what stands out to you?
Well, Jaeger may not have got the initiation that he wanted. You can see he's going to be a bit hesitant here to get into the angle and hold that angle all the way through. And the judges really like to see you snap to angle, hold it. And he also had an opportunity here to fill this outer zone because Goble didn't. He could have matched those two things up. You can see kind of, like you said, has a similar line to Goble in that second outer zone. Goble, meanwhile, looks like he's still kind of playing catch up a little bit here, trying to close the door towards the end. Jaeger on this inside line, then comes across the middle, does a better job on that last inside clip, but Goble not able to close the door. So both drivers, you know, leaving a few points on the table, Jared.
That reminds me of a story one time.
We'll see how it goes with the judges, but certainly a few mistakes from both sides.
All right, so Jaeger, slide him left for Jaeger, slide him right for Goble, and the judges are saying, Ryan's saying one more time. Brian says, Andy says Brodie Goble, and Brian says one more time. So they're going at it again. You know, I actually probably would have leaned more towards Ola Jaeger. I think Goble had a decent lead run to lead run, chase run to chase run. You know, Lantain, let's get your attention here, buddy. Two, you went one more time. You were one of them.
Yep.
Your reasoning.
I just felt that they had similar leads and similar chases. There may be a little bit more proximity from Brodie in one area of the track over Ola, but I think Ola did a little bit better job in the lead position, especially near the latter portion of the course. So I just wanted to see them go again because I really didn't see that there was a clear advantage for either one of them.
Yeah, I think Goble had a major mistake here on his lead run, though. Like, he looked like he got nervous and checked up. I mean, Austin Meeks, he threw it in and just held on, and it looked exciting. I think Goble was right there. I think that would have just been the deciding factor, the whiz-bang pow, if he would have brought it in high and tight like a fastball pitch. All right, so Dirk, Stratton, and this is Kirk, Phillippi from Vallejo. So, again, here we go. As Dirk Stratton, the dagger right there. Oh, Crick, right on the door of Dirk Stratton, using all the course. Ryan, let's see if we have some contact here. As now, Dirk Stratton gets the outside zone, continues through the course. Phillippi up in the mix. Big smoke coming off that Stratton Chevrolet Corvette. Make some noise for these guys. Stratton and Phillippi.
Well, I think we're definitely gonna see some contact here on initiation, and my gut is telling me that it's gonna go to Phillippi because this is a slowdown area here. Watch Stratton initiates. You can see Phillippi is actually on the brake still, and he still makes contact with Stratton there. Now it's going to force Stratton off, but both drivers get back into it. So that's just my initial grasp. There's contact there. Phillippi was on the brakes, and it looked like Stratton was not. So that would indicate, especially in a slowdown area there, that Phillippi would be at fault for the contact. But both drivers continue on, and so the judges will judge this run in its entirety. You can see that great snapback by Stratton there, though he was off that last inside clip.
That looks really dynamic. That just shows a little bit, you know, I really encourage, and I think all the guys encourage this, you know, if you got contact and you can stand, don't flop. You know, we see in so many other sports, and yeah, you could see that hit right there. Both of them, you see the momentum there from Phillippi even taking both of them off course. Yeah, that could have been a lot uglier. Was it tire to tire? So here, this angle. Yeah. Got sketchy, but for the most part, everybody comes out unscathed. But now, Ryan, we're hearing the judges talk. It comes down to who's at fault as well.
Well, you can see both brake lights, front and rear, working for both drivers. Stratton's don't go on until actually he comes past. And watch the brake lights of Stratton here. They're going to come on after the contact, but you can see that Phillippi's are on the entire time, which basically says slowing momentum. So let's bring in Ryan real quick to just get his perspective.
Yeah, Phillippi definitely got a little aggressive on initiation. Stratton was slowing down in a legal slowdown area, so there's no problem there. And from that point on, in my opinion, you can't really put any onus on Stratton for not having a good lead run because he just got knocked off track. So in that case, it would be responsibility on Phillippi for the hit and for the ensuing poor run.
For something like that, how long, yes, he gets pushed off course. At what point do you have to get back on course? Is it going back downhill as a lead driver? Or like, when do you say?
Well, in that case, if you look at where he's supposed to be on track going up the hill, he's way off course now. He's 1 or 2 tires off, you know, theoretically because of that push off the track. Now his line is completely messed up. His momentum's gone to come up the hill. How is he expected to fill outside zone 1 and 2 properly? It's going to be really tough for him to do that.
So now Dirk Stratton will be chasing down Phillippi here. Crick Phillippi. We are just almost more than halfway through, or just almost half. We got a one more time battle here on the one side of the top 16 bracket. Now we've entered on the other side, but we will revisit Goble and Jaeger.
Basically what was going on there, Jared, is they just wanted to make sure the spotters understood who was at fault just in case there needed to be some touching of the vehicle.
Copy that.
They're proceeding forward.
Copy that. Here we go. So Phillippi out of the gate. Dirk Stratton, is he giving himself too much distance here? We'll see if the dagger cuts deep as Phillippi past that first front clip. And here comes Stratton up the hill, tucking into the smoke. Whoa, look at him gain that ground really quickly. Phillippi, now Stratton right there. Phillippi with that wide swing. Dirk Stratton, that Stratton Chevrolet Achilles Radial Corvette. On one right now. And Phillippi brings it around that final clip. And Stratton almost airing it out. That could have gotten really ugly there. But, man, some exciting driving from that Corvette.
Well, like Goble, you can definitely see the ability of Stratton here. Now, I think he gives a little bit too much room here. He may have received advice from the spotter. Hey, look, you're not at fault for the contact, but he still does need to, play ball here. And right here, he engages up the hill, close the door. Now, Phillippi's going to go wide on this inside clip, leaves the door open for Stratton, who gets super close right here, backs off for a second through the smoke line. As Phillippi comes down the hill, you can see a little bit of wavering there from Stratton overall. But I think he's in good terms here on that last inside clip. Makes a tiny mistake in the chase position as Phillippi hits that inside clip. So a good back and forth battle here. Maybe a little bit of room left open there going up the hill, but Stratton was able to close it.
Love seeing the new blood, but unfortunately Phillippi, that has come to an end because Dirk Stratton unanimously gets the victory. Hard pressing Kirk Phillippi. Want to see him at future rounds of Formula Drift, but Dirk Stratton, you just saw, if I'm his spotter or if I'm Dirk, makes you a little nervous there if you're giving yourself too much room as he headed down the hill. So Stratton advances on. Right now we are revisiting that of Brodie Goble and Ola Jaeger. Hello, Jaeger. Ola Jaeger from Norway, Brodie Goble from BC. So thanks for joining us out here in Atlanta, as again we're revisiting this one more time. 14 years, been banging away out here at this iconic Road Atlanta track. And these two gentlemen are about to do battle. Who's going to advance on? We're about to find out. Brodie Goble and Ola Jaeger. All right, here we go. Brodie Goble out front, Ola Jaeger in the chase position. Brodie Goble, see him lighten him up real quick. Ola Jaeger, right there on the door. Good angle from Brodie Goble. Ola Jaeger, not letting him slip. Look at the angle from Brodie Goble, bringing it all the way out there. That's how you get it done. As Goble out of the keyhole, and Jaeger losing some ground there. You see Goble staying on and powering all the way through, back up the hill. And there, you saw Goble. He didn't, get nervous, didn't check up. Looks a lot more poised. It was reminiscent of what Meeks did.
Well, this is definitely a story where Goble made some improvements in his chase run here, especially in the keyhole. And Jaeger was doing a pretty good job, also making some improvements in his chase until the section of the course coming down the hill. Remember, Goble missed this outer zone first time around. Now he's got that in the books. He goes a little bit wide on that first inside clip, and right here as Jaeger comes into attack, he's going to lose angle, fall back for a little bit, and almost straighten out coming down this last section of the course. So Goble now has a good, solid lead in his books, and Jaeger's he's going to need to come back with a strong one of his own. Meanwhile, Goble will have to still put pressure in the chase position, but now that he knows what Jaeger did in his chase, all he's got to do is do better than that, and he should solidify a potential victory.
All right, well, Ola Jaeger, not an easy act to follow. That Supra, it has the horsepower there, and when he got that clean air on his first battle, he looked a lot more confident and throwing down. So Ola Jaeger will be out front of the Toyota Supra. Brodie Goble will chase him down. Brodie Goble looks like he's got the power, man. That thing is cranking out smoke like a smoke factory. All right, how we doing down there, Drift Scum? You guys having fun? Yeah, hardcore fan. Team Rowdy, how we doing over there? I don't know, I think Drift Scum's got you beat. You guys have been coming here too long. All old farts over there. I'm just kidding. There's no turf battle, it's all love. It's all love, right? All right, so here we go. Again, Ola Jaeger and Brodie Goble. We are now officially halfway through the top 16 to find out who's going to win here in Pro 2. Again, Kevin Lawrence, he won in Orlando, but he did not advance on a qualifying. Ola Jaeger out front. Brodie Goble initiates. Brodie Goble giving himself too much room. Ola up the hill. Look at the amount of smoke that comes off of that S14. Brodie Goble shredding some weight. And Goble back on the throttle. And Brodie Goble making kind of a sizable mistake there. You saw him throw it out there, light up the wheels, and keep it going. Let's see. Where are my Ola Jaeger fans out? The Toyota Supra.
Well, I think Goble had a real opportunity here to lock it up if he could commit to a very solid chase here, but Jaeger does not allow that to happen. You can see he gets a good jump. He's nice and tight on that inside clip, and he starts to pull away from Goble coming up the hill. Now, let's see if he fills his zone here. He does a much better job. He doesn't go as deep as Goble, but we'll see how that plays in the overall thing. He also misses that inside clip there. Now, Goble is still going to be losing ground here to Jaeger, and as Jaeger wraps around this last inside clip, we're not seeing much pressure from Goble in the chase position, so Goble had a pretty tremendous lead. You could probably say that Jaeger's lead wasn't as good, but was Goble there in the chase?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think Goble just made a big mistake out there. Where are my Brodie Goble fans at? Make some noise. Look at the smoke here. Unbelievable. Okay, Brodie's got one. Thanks. George K, I appreciate that. Brodie, you're Brodie Goble's only fan. I'm joking. Obviously not. Where are my, what fans at? Yeah, my drifting fans, just generic. Where are my fans at? And the scores are in. Slide them left for Jaeger, right for Goble. Are they going one more time? Ryan says Brodie Goble. Andy says one more time. And Brian says Brodie Goble. Brodie Goble, 2-1, gets the victory. Brodie Goble from BC, Vancouver, advances on into the Great 8. So congratulations, Brodie Goble. Ryan Lantain, going to you. You aired on the side of Brodie Goble. Your reasoning.
My reasoning. Brodie had a better lead. Jaeger did a pretty good job coming up the hill here in terms of his line, but his angle was pretty low coming up the hill. He didn't get as deep into outside zone 2 as Goble did. So in that sense, Goble's chase didn't have quite the proximity coming up the hill, but the lead was not doing what he should in the lead position, so can't really hold that too much against Goble. Goble made one mistake here, coming from outside zone 2 to inside clip 2, but other than that, had a pretty good chase up until that point.
Sylvester Gorky against Randall Waters. All right, so Gorky will lead. And going and chasing Randall Waters falls. Here we go. Sylvester Gorky out front from Budapest. Randall Waters initiates ISS 14. Gorky lights him up. Nice job. Good angle there from Gorky. Now into that first rear clipping zone, into the horseshoe. Way outside of the box. Gorky really not putting it together here out front. But Randall Waters keeps kind of modulating back and forth, but Gorky, I mean, over here, he could have definitely put it out there a little further.
Well, Waters is in the top 5 right now, so this is a big opportunity for him to gain those much needed points, as we talked about with Kevin Lawrence going out early. Gorky right there through that first inside clip. You can see Waters gets a little bit out of whack here, and he's not really able to close the door. But then look at Gorky, takes this really, really tight line, does not get out to that outside zone at all. Good job by Waters right there to recognize it and stay on that on the lead driver and not let him get away. But then he does here towards the latter part of the course, falls back a little bit. So both drivers kind of struggling here. Quite a few low points, but then we really want to try to make that up in this next run. So Waters has an opportunity here to clearly lay down a better run than Gorgon. If he does that, he's going to give himself a fighting chance. Yeah, for sure. Look at the smoke just looming here, and again, it is a dead calm. You guys having fun out there? Thanks for sticking around. Casual Friday. Make some noise for all the drivers. Will you make some noise, Road Atlanta? I just saw that dab. That was a solid dab, homeboy, right there in team routing. That was a mellow, cool dab. Brooks Church, how we doing, buddy? Keeping it real in the field. All right, so we are clearing the track as the smoke looms. Looks like Walking Dead right now. Where's Andy Sapp when you need him? Randall Waters will now lead. Sylvester Gorky will give chase. Blinded by the light. Lights are on. Flicking it in. Sylvester Gorky will be going chasing Waters. Falls. We'll see. Get it, his name's Randall Waters, and Gorky's chasing him, so he's chasing Waters. Falls. We'll see. Yeah, it's a good one. You always love my terrible jokes, Ryan. I love them no matter what. I know you do. All right, here we go. Randall Waters, Sylvester Gorky.
Send it. All right, initiating. Randall Waters, IESS 14. Nice around that. Oh, Gorky overcooks it, gets into the dirt. And look at this, we are seeing Waters power through, doesn't get to the outside zone, tightens it back up to the front clip. Gorky way back there, nowhere to be found. Looks like this is going to be all Waters advancing on. And boom goes the dynamite. There you go. Randall Waters puts it together. Ryan, you asked for it, and he delivered. Randall Waters.
Well, this is a perfect example of what we talked about with the chase driver having an incomplete. You're gonna see here, Waters starts off very strong, a nice strong initiation, a bit of a knee brake pull there, but then lets the tires move forward, gets back on the throttle. Gorky goes off course, shuts it down. Now at this point, you got an incomplete from Gorky. You just need Waters to finish the run and not have an incomplete in his run. He does not do that here, so that would mean a victory for him moving on into the Grade 8 after a hard-fought battle. He's able to come back with a strong lead run and close it out.
Hypercritical points. As I said, Kevin Lawrence, your winner from round 1, fails to make qualifying. He's not top 16, but Josh Robinson is in the mix, as well as Travis Reeder. We'll see Reeder. He's the final battle 16. I assume slide him left for Waters. Let's make it official. Randall Waters gets the victory, and Sylvester Gorky is knocked out from Budapest. So there you have it. It's Randall Waters advances on. Speaking of the Aussie doing the shoey and drying out his shoes for the past few weeks, Josh Robinson. Josh Robinson in that Holden Ute. He's going against, hey, he's nothing but Hooman. He is Hooman Rahimi from Nashville, Tennessee. So two very different vehicles, two very different drivers, and formerly Rob Primo, the tallest guy in drifting. Haven't seen him out here in the Formula Drift grid, but always a great guy. Congratulations to him. He's got married as of recent, but I say that because he was the tallest guy in drifting. Josh Robinson, he's right there. They might be fairly challenged there on height. All right, Josh Robinson, Hooman Rahimi. Robinson will lead. Hooman will give chase. And we are ready to send him. You can see the lights illuminating, extinguish, send it. Here we go. Robinson out front. Rahimi gets that early jump. He is allowed to do that. If you're in the chase position, you can. Oh, it looks like, what's going on here? And Robinson crawling out of the gate, he might not be 100%. I know he is late to driver intros, so something could be up with Robinson and his Magnuson supercharged Holden Ute. Yeah, that does not sound good. Just want to make sure with the officials that was not a restart. All right, so we are getting word from the officials, Ryan, that the start is clean and something is afoot with Mr. Robinson. So
yeah, I think you can clearly see that here. He's taking his time getting back to the line, and obviously not for wanting to do that. So it looks like he's got some problems here. He may need to exercise his competition timeout, because at this point he's got an incomplete on run number 1, which would mean that he would need an incomplete from Rahimi in order to force it one more time. So he might as well take his competition timeout here if he believes that the problem is fixable. We've also seen situations like this where the driver will just bow out. So it's going to be on him at this point, and it looks like he is going to probably need a tow off of the course back to the hot grid.
all right, so if you can win a set of centerline wheels as run on Chelsea Denofa. I mean, he only needs 3 of them when he's turned in one direction or the other. Win a set of centerline wheels, hashtag FD Centerline17. Tag a photo of you watching this weekend's event, and it's real easy. Hashtag FD Centerline, CENTERLINE 17, as in the year. You can win a free set of centerline muscle car wheels, courtesy of ATDWheels.com, an official sponsor of Formula Drift. All right, so Robinson will be getting assistance. Get him towed off course. So we'll take a short break, get Robinson off course, and we'll continue with more action here at round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro 2 Championship, round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship, presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. Welcome back. We are here with more top 16 action, and it looks like we are going to be advancing on to Andy Hateley, and Travis Reeder, who got on the podium in Orlando. Can he do it again? All right, so you could see Reeder warming up his tires there in the back, that nameless performance S13. As I said, he got on the podium in Orlando. A lot of eyeballs on Reeder, but Andrew Hateley, I mean, he qualified 6th. It looks like he's coming together now.
Well, I think with Robinson, you know, right now at a disadvantage on his run, Reeder's the next guy in line. Actually, he's sitting above Robinson right now in 2nd place in the championship. So he stands the greatest position right here to take advantage of this opportunity, being only 20 points behind Kevin Lawrence coming into this event. With Lawrence not active in the top 16, this is a big opportunity for him. This right here alone could get him into 1st place.
And with there only being 4 rounds of Pro 2, it's hypercritical for every round of competition. Andy Hateley will lead. Travis Reeder will give chase. Here comes Hateley down in. Hateley initiates into that first front clip. Something interesting happening there. Looks like Travis Reeder keeps his composure. Hateley comes into the horseshoe. Now brings it all the way out to the outside zone. Could have gotten deeper. And then tightens it back up. Blends into that orange cone. Here's Hateley and Reeder. Reeder now real close in proximity. Nice execution there by Reeder. Now back up the hill goes Reeder.
Well, we're seeing a lot of drivers have issues with this initiation. Heard the judges say what happened there. Let's take a look at Hateley. He initiates, doesn't really get into angle. He really struggles with that, but then right in the chase position, Reeder is way off that inside clip, and he needs to be following Hateley like a moving clipping point. So as we wrap around the horseshoe here, you can see Reeder tries to close the door, comes very close here. Now as we come back down the hill, you can see Reeder with a bit less angle than Hateley and almost going off course there, making some adjustments. So both drivers struggling at certain parts of the course, but leaving the door open for the other to have some improvement here. In run number 2, Reeder will now go to the lead position and Hateley will chase him down.
All right, so here we are once again. This would be, no, it's not our final battle. We still have to finish out the other half of Josh Robinson and Hooman Rahimi. But right now it is Reeder out front and Hateley in the chase position. Working our way here through the top 16, Road Atlanta playing host, round 3 of the Pro Championship and round 2 of the Pro 2. And like I said, half the rounds, 4 rounds compared to 8 in Pro 2. So every round is hypercritical. Here we go, Reeder into that first front clip. Good execution by Reeder. Big angle from Reeder as Hateley now tries to wrangle him in. Hateley compromises going deep on that rear clipping zone, but look at that right there on the side of Reeder. Reeder, a solid lead run, and now back up the hill goes Reeder. Let me hear you, Atlanta. Make some noise for Reeder and Hateley.
Well, this time the positions are swapped up, and you can see Reeder as he initiates. He's going to be nice and tight on this inside clip. Meanwhile, Hateley's a little bit wide there, so not following the lead car like a moving clipping point. You can see losing a little bit of angle there is Hateley in the chase position. As Reeder tries to shoot towards that outer zone, he comes up a bit short, allows the door to be open there for Hateley, who tries to close it, but as Reeder accelerates down the hill, you can see here he pulls away just for a second there. Hateley's got him in his eyes, but Reeder wraps around that last inside clip with about 2 car lengths distance. So bit of a battle on our hands here, and now we'll go to the judges and see if we get a result.
All right, Reeder in that red S14 with the black doors. Andy Hateley, great looking car. Always loved the E30 and his car in particular. Very fun to watch. Andy Hateley, seen him in and out of Formula Drift competition. Great to see him back out here. You can see Hooman Rahimi warming it up. Are we getting the tow car out here again? Somebody having issues? All right, so we are finding out. It is official. Travis Reeder gets the victory. Reeder gets the victory and advances on. So this is looking good for Reeder because right now, Robinson and Ryan, as you said, Kevin Lawrence did not make it. He was our points leader coming in, but not the case anymore. Reeder in the 16 now advances on to the 8, and Josh Robinson, who is sitting 3rd, he is sitting on that incomplete run in the first portion of that battle between him and Hooman Rahimi, and then Brandon Schmidt and Randall Waters, as you said, he's advancing on as well. So good things. Things are heating up pretty progressively here in Atlanta. One half of the battle left here for our top 16 to forge our Great 8. And we are seeing the officials here. Looks like dusting the track off here. Little track cleanup here. When we come back, we will see the second half of Robinson and Rahimi here at Road Atlanta. Welcome back, Josh Robinson, Hooman Rahimi. Who's going to advance on? Robinson, if you can recall, he left the start line. It was a clean start, wasn't a restart. He strolled down, but unfortunately, that will be an incomplete run on his side of the bracket. So, Hooman Rahimi, he's sitting pretty, as well as he will be out front. So he's got the clean air. He's got an advantage because Josh Robinson had an incomplete run. So our second half of this battle will round out the top 16. And championship implications on the line here for Josh Robinson. Holly and Chris, Grid Life, how we doing? Shout out. All right, so here we go. Again, red lights are on, and now they're out. That means it's go time. Hooman Rahimi. And now Hooman into the first front clip. And Josh swings it out. Looks like he does have the power, but unfortunately is having some issues still as Rahimi. And Josh seeming to struggle here, ringing it around, and Rahimi through the course. Dials it in, and it looks like it's going to be Rahimi, unfortunately, for Josh Robinson.
Well, if you recall, we had Robinson with that issue with his vehicle, so he obviously needed kind of a miracle here. He needed Rahimi to zero out. Incomplete run on his lead, and it doesn't seem like Rahimi does that here. You can see as he's coming up the hill, he's not doing anything that is going to cause the judges to give him an incomplete. You can see Robinson, not typical for him. He's fallen way far behind here. So unfortunately for him, a mechanical is going to end his day, and Rahimi is going to move on into the Grade 8.
Shout out to the Australia guys, Joey, Jacked, Lauren, and Matthew. Thanks for hanging out. But unfortunately, it looks like Josh Robinson is going home because Hooman Rahimi unanimously gets the win. Hooman Rahimi advances on into the Grade 8. I know Team Rowdy is hyped about that, and as is Hooman Rahimi. So congratulations, Mr. Rahimi. All right, our Grade 8 is here. We have now seen our 8 battles in top 16. Now we have our 4 battles here in the Grade 8. Remember, third place is decided by qualifying position. Matt Van Kirk versus Alec Robbins. Alec Robbins, MDU champion from last year. Piloted a truck, actually, in the championship. And now he got teamed up with Coro Works, a local Atlanta shop. Built this vehicle. Did not qualify in Orlando. The car just wasn't ready, and now it's back out here. He took out your #1 qualifier, Danny George, and then Matt Van Kirk. He made his way through Trenton, Beecham, keeping his composure, even getting Beecham into the side of his door, but he continued on through the course, again, from Marysville, Washington. So you got Minnesota being represented there with Alec. Soda, don't you know? And Van Kirk will lead in the Drift-O-Matic. S13, here we go. So Van Kirk coming down the pipe, initiates. Oh, Alec with some wavering, you saw him checking up, and Van Kirk, now the car's getting settled. Alec using all of the course, and Van Kirk does that. Alec tightens it up. Transitions out of the keyhole, and Alec losing some ground. Van Kirk stomping the throttle all the way past that final clip. And Van Kirk, a dominant performance out front. Alec seeming to get that car to where he needs it.
So Van Kirk continuing a strong run here tonight. Initiates, has a little trouble getting to initiation. You can see right there Robbins has to make a slight adjustment. I don't know if that was independent or caused by that, but you can see here as Van Kirk goes up the hill, he's going to break into this section here. He's going to try to reach out to the zone. He could have gotten a little bit deeper there, and you can see Robbins on a tighter line. Doesn't follow him out to that outer zone as well as he should have. Now down the hill here, Van Kirk is going to have a nice smooth transition back around, stay nice and tight on that inside clip, and you can see that Robbins is about 3 to 4 car lengths back, so he was not able to close the door towards the end.
All right, so Van Kirk and Alec Robbins. as Van Kirk, Alec Robbins is actually leading, and Van Kirk will give chase. So the core work Z on the start line. Drift-O-Matic Van Kirk will be given chase. All right, so and here we go. It looks like you can see the start lights illuminate just between them. And Alec leaves the start line. Look at him crab walking in there. Has the power on deck, initiates. Van Kirk. Right there, big wide swing. Scrubbing some speed. You can see Alec. Minimal smoke coming off the back and very shallow around the keyhole. And now transitioning out. And back up the hill. So very shallow on the keyhole for Alec Robbins out front. Let's take a look at this again.
Well, Van Kirk makes some good adjustments here. As you can see, Robbins initiates. He's on the brakes right here. Van Kirk tucks up on the inside. Now Robbins is going to get some angle in the car there. Van Kirk makes an adjustment as well. That'll be interesting to see how the judges take a look and interpret that. But right here, Robbins takes this super tight line. He does not push out to that outer zone at all. And Van Kirk stays with him, uses him as a moving clipping point, does a great job there to keep him within distance. Has a little bit less angle there for a second, Van Kirk, that is, but he's got the proximity, does a good job there, and with that lead run, I think that's probably going to be enough.
All right, so here we are, Alec Robbins, Matt Van Kirk. And slide him right. Matt Van Kirk gets the victory. Alec Robbins, his day is done. But Van Kirk advances on into the Final Four. And Van Kirk qualified 8th. Let's see how the rest of the field shapes up. As I said, with third place coming down to qualifying, we got Austin Meeks and Brodie Goble. They actually qualified 4th and 5th. So Meeks and Goble, this should be a fun one. These guys saw battle against each other in Orlando, and that's where these two great-looking cars really got into a tussle. Saw them catch air and all that. That was pretty exciting. So let's see what unfolds here on this iconic course. And Meeks had a solid lead run in this first battle against that of Spike Chen. All right, Meeks will lead. Goble giving chase. Coming down the hill. Meeks using all the course. Flicks it in. Around that first front clip. Goble, big maxed out angle for both the guys. Goble losing ground. Meeks pulling it in. Just on fire. Does it? Oh, and look at that, Austin Meeks. As I said, he came in, overcooked it. You saw him get out of the line. Goble falling back. Could have seized an opportunity there. I want to take a look at this again. I mean, oh wow, Goble getting out into the dirt as he rounded around that final clip. Let's take a look at Meeks here.
Well, you can see Meeks in the lead position here. He cuts across the center. Goble's looking for an opportunity to attack on the inside here. He doesn't stay close to that inside clip like he should have right there, and he falls back a little bit with that angle as he transitions up the hill. Now, Meeks is going to make a huge mistake here. He puts too much angle in the car and has to unwind it, and he basically runs over that inside clip. Now, this gives an opportunity for Goble to close the door, but he's not able to close it all the way as Meeks throttles down the hill. Big smoke cloud here and wraps it back around. So, Meeks with a big mistake. Goble coming off the course here towards the end, a little bit of a mistake on the transition coming up the hill, and both drivers have a bit of ambiguity, I would say, from my perspective here. We'll see if number 2 can lock it in. Yeah, and they were quite a bit of distance apart from each other, and yeah, like you said, Meeks put too much angle. That could have been a lot worse, a lot more detrimental, but still not the prettiest. So as now Goble will lead, and Meeks will give chase. We are in the Pro 2 Grade 8. We are live here at Road Atlanta, the second round of the Pro 2 Championship, hashtag FDATL. Download the app, all the basically info, live stream, even a rewards program. All right, so Goble, Meeks. The winner goes against Matt Van Kirk in the Final Four.
could see the Achilles radial smoke just lingering from Austin Meeks' vehicle. Filling this place up. And here we go. Goble out front, Meeks in the chase position. Like I said, these guys got into a good one in Orlando. Well, how's it going to unfold now? Goble in that first front clip. Meeks right there. Meeks very close, but now it's to back off as Goble brings it into outer zone, and Meeks overcooks it on the other side. Gets into the dirt, throws it into the sand people right there on the fence. And it looks like the needle's going to be going towards Brodie Goble at first glance. Ryan.
Well, a pretty crazy battle ensuing here as Goble takes the lead. Meeks in the chase position. Goble initiates. You can see Meeks on the inside here. Nearly hits Goble. Has to put some angle in the car. Now he's going to fall back because of that. Wasn't able to make a smooth transition as he tries to really close down the gap on Goble. And then as he accelerates up the hill, he sprays the crowd down here with a bunch of dirt as he goes 2 tires off course, trying to make up that gap from that mistake on the inside. And now Goble wraps around this last inside clip, but he's going to go very, very wide here. Now we've seen Goble go off course, and Meeks just blasting to try to catch up to him for one little pass at trying to salvage this run here. We'll see as the judges take both runs into account, looking at both lead runs together, both chase runs together, and who had the better overall feel, who was the dominant driver, Brodie Goble or Austin Meeks.
So Brodie Goble and Meeks both running Achilles radial, and it is just filling this natural stadium. You could see the IAS Randall Waters S14 warming up back there, and Dirk Stratton in the Stratton Chevrolet Corvette. All right, going to the judges, Goble or Meeks. Slide them left for Goble, right for Meeks. And there's a one more time from Ryan. And Brian says Brodie Goble. Andy says Brodie Goble gets the victory. Brodie Goble gets the victory. Lantagne, you said one more time, huh? Ryan Lantagne just getting. Ryan Lantagne, knock, knock. Who's there? One more time. Okay. Just not happy with it.
I think you caught Lantagne in a very deep
I know
moment.
he was getting tranced out. He was getting laid down. Tell me about your mother and your relationship with your father. Okay, so we are halfway through the grade 8, and Goble will go against Van Kirk. Now it's Stratton and Waters. Dirk Stratton will lead, and Randall Waters. All these guys on Achilles tires just tearing it up. So let's see which Achilles driver is going to reign supreme here under the lights at round 2 of the Pro 2 Championship. Dirk Stratton, come to find out, his name in another language means dagger. So he's we got a couple daggers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way. So, yeah, what's the other language?
What was it? What language? In basically some language Dirk means dagger. So I don't know what exactly language it was, but I'm informed of that. So he's the dagger. Let's see if he stabs Randall Waters here. But Dirk doing duty out front. Getting to that rumble strip and overshoots, overcooks it. And Dirk Stratton goes off course. Randall Waters shutting her down. So that will mean an incomplete run for Dirk Stratton.
Turn to the inside. He can't come out of the understeer. Goes off the course now. At this point, the run's over. He's got an incomplete, and Waters does not need to finish the run. He sees what's going on here. He shuts it down, and he'll have himself an advantage going into run number 2.
All right, so here it is. Taking a look at it again. And there is Dirk Stratton overcooking it, throws it in, and Randall Waters. So now Randall Waters with the advantage, an incomplete run there for Dirk Stratton. right, so okay, so Waters, Stratton, all right, so here we go, Waters and Stratton. Waters with an advantage here with Stratton having some mistakes. So Waters pulls through the course and whoa, he goes off course now. Re-enters into the course. Oh, and Waters, that back right. So it seems that Dirk Stratton potentially caught a lucky break here.
Well, I mean, this is, there's not much more you can say about this. This is basically a blown opportunity here for Waters. Waters had a very easy pathway to victory here. He just needed to secure a lead run that did not have an incomplete. But as he passes through this inside clip, you can see he blows off course, puts dirt back on, so now we're going to have to come sweep it.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for showing up, just throwing dirt on your...
And then at the same time, it's going to be an incomplete. So it leaves the judges with very little opportunity here, other than I would imagine a one more time if you've got two incompletes.
Yeah, it's basically two identical issues, one after another. So there's, you know, the chase car is not responsible to continue that run after that occurs. So even though Dirk Stratton went around him and kept drifting, that is kind of inconsequential, really. They both zeroed out, or sorry, incompleted independently.
Yeah, there it is. So it's a one more time battle between these two gentlemen, but Randall Waters may have some bigger fish to fry. Hopefully it is just that back right tire. You could see it's seen better days, but these guys are pushing hard. They know what's at stake here. Randall Waters, he was 5th position coming into this round of competition after Orlando. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see Hooman Rahimi and Travis Reeder. Welcome back, Hooman Rahimi and Travis Reeder. Travis Reeder will be leading. Travis Reeder qualifying 11th, Hooman Rahimi qualifying 14th. All right, so here we go. As, again, Rahimi and Reeder. Reeder will lead. All right, taking a look at the clock. Join us for the podium. It is now, if you've been here previous years, usually it's down in the paddock. It's actually up here, really close to the judging stand, just off to the distance. You can't miss it when you make your way down. So here we go. Reeder, Rahimi. Who's advancing onto the final four? Reeder initiates. In that first front flip, good execution from him. Rahimi pedaling back a little bit, giving himself some distance. But Reeder seizing the moment. Shallow does not get all the way out to the outside zone. Reeder was on the podium. He was 2nd place in Orlando, and right now he's looking dominant out front. Definitely could have used, you know, could have been to that outside zone in the horseshoe.
Well, Reeder looks like he gets the job done here, at least giving himself a good shot. As he comes through this first inside clip, you can see he's already starting to establish that he's on the right line. He's pulling a gap here on Rahimi. Now, he's not going to go deep into this zone. Now, that is the one mistake, and it's a fairly sizable one. He was able to hit this inside clip. Rahimi tries to come up on the inside here. He's going to take out that marking cone that gives the drivers a visual aid coming down the hill through the smoke line. And that'll be a slight error for him, but he really wasn't able to close the door overall. And meanwhile, Reeder really just had that one mistake where he drove a little bit of a tighter line coming into outer zone number 2. We'll have a slight deduction for that, but overall it was a pretty decent lead run. Now he's just got to hold on to a solid chase here. And like we said, Jared, for the championship chase, him and Waters are in the biggest position right now to capture those much-needed points for the championship. Reeder sitting in 2nd place right now. If he wins here, he's going to advance on into the Final Four, and that's going to solidify him as the leader in the championship so far, and then we'll see what happens with Waters.
Yeah, with Robinson out as well, but like you said, Waters still a contender here since they had to go one more time. Got a lucky break there with Stratton. Waters got a break with Stratton, you know, everybody. So here we go, Hooman Rahimi leading, Travis Reeder in the chase position. And Rahimi into that first front clip. Reeder Keeping a good composure. Look at that, lunging into the side of the Z of Rahimi. Rahimi, big angle there, nice job. As Reader, woo, look at him right there, riding shotgun with Rahimi. And Reader really showing you why he is the current points leader. He did have a big correction there. I will say that he did not exactly mimic his angle towards that final clip, but Reader really showing some dominance.
And also take a look at Rahimi's lead run. You can see really, really big slowdown there coming into inside clip 1. Reader's able to adjust and then get back on it, try to close the door here. He's keeping pretty good distance to Rahimi, who does a decent job getting into that outer zone. But you can see right there, Reader's not letting him get away. Takes up on the inside there as Rahimi goes a little bit wide on that second inside clip. And right here, you can see Rahimi's going to take a wide line, transition to that last inside clip. It kind of catches Reader a little bit off guard, but he made his mark by being able to close the door on that second inside clip coming into the horseshoe here, and I think that should be enough for him to get the victory.
Yeah, unfortunately for Hooman Rahimi, Travis was right there. He had his number. Really, I mean, Hooman had a great lead run. I definitely will give him that. And Reader, you know, wasn't the cleanest, but he definitely had a very aggressive chase run. So Hooman Rahimi, Travis Reader slide him right for Travis Reader. Travis Reader gets the victory. Hooman Rahimi is knocked out. So again, download the app, find out all the news, updates, rewards programs, breaking news alerts, ability to buy tickets, exclusive games and contests. Download the Formula Drift app now. So you can find it on the App Store and Google Play. So download the app now. As we can see, it looks like Dirk Stratton there in his Corvette. He's getting ready, and he's warming up his Achilles. Lingenfelter horsepower under the hood of his Stratton Chevrolet Corvette. Again, from Ohio. Not seen Randall Waters yet. Okay, so we are finding out what's going on with Randall Waters.
Now, if you remember, Jared, Waters had that damage to the left rear.
Yeah,
I believe.
right rear.
Right rear, sorry, yeah, the right rear. And apparently he is still being looked at by tech. Once they get into the burnout box there, that will initiate moving forward. So if he is not at the line, he will have to call a competition timeout. Now,
yep.
we are closely approaching the 12 midnight cutoff here for this event, and obviously can't afford to lose any time here. No. So a competition timeout would certainly put us in a precarious position, but it could happen here. We have one more slot to fill in the final four. Left side of the bracket, we've got Matt Van Kirk and Brodie Goble. We've got Travis Reader in this side of the final four, and the winner of this battle between Stratton and Waters will go up against Reader. So as we await on the line, we will find out the fate of Waters here shortly.
Yeah, Waters, he is dead in the water right now, and again, that back right injured wheel, maybe it caused more damage, because I mean that gator strip, that could bite you in more ways than one, and the damage to the suspension and the wheels, and you know, you hope it's just cosmetic. As Waters and his team, we're trying to find out from the officials what status is with Randall Waters, and he is on his way. We are finding out that he is on his way up. So and we are waiting for Waters. And it looks like there he is.
So just getting a word, just so we're clear here, there was no competition timeout used. Our tech was evaluating the car to make sure that it was safe, and now they're going back up to the line.
Okay, so. And there is Waters to the line. Stratton will lead. Stratton qualified second. So, Stratton qualified second, Waters qualified 10th, and Reader qualified 11th. So, as it stands, if Stratton advances on, he is guaranteed a podium finish. Dirk Stratton is guaranteed a podium finish. He's the highest qualifying driver left standing. Brodie Goble is after that. So, we'll see. Here comes Dirk Stratton out of the gate. He's hoping that he doesn't overcook it. Randall Waters giving himself a safe amount of distance. Big flick there by Stratton. Wow, all the way out there. getting into that first outer zone, into the dirt. You see Stratton getting out there into the second zone, doesn't go all the way deep. Waters tucking in that Achilles smoke signal and now brings it home. Nice job by Waters, the latter portion of the track. All right, so let's take a look at it again here, Ryan.
Well, Waters was able to put some pressure on Stratton during, the middle and latter sections of the course, but he doesn't help himself out here on initiation. You can see right here, the only car in the picture is Stratton, who's got a huge lead going up the hill. Now watch Waters, is going to accelerate as Stratton goes off course a little bit. Stratton does not reach out to this second outer zone, and right here on the inside is Waters who attacks. Now watch this transition back around. He tucks through the smoke line. He could have put his front bumper a little bit closer, but he does it right there. Quick, snappy transition back by Stratton. So some high points by both drivers, a couple little mistakes there. Good battle on hand so far, and we haven't seen the big mistakes that we saw in run number 1 against these two guys. So we'll see what happens here as now Waters will take the lead and Stratton will chase him down.
Waters out front, Stratton in the chase position. Whoever advances on goes against Travis Reeder, our current points leader, but Waters could shake things up if he advances on. Again, he's in contention for that championship. He is in the top 5 as it stands, or I should say coming into this round. This is our final battle of the grade 8. 3 drivers already in the final 4. Who's it going to be? Waters or Stratton? Waters out front. Stratton gave himself a lot of distance here. Is that too much? Waters takes out that front clip. Stratton. And Waters is on one right now, getting out to that outside zone. Oh, and Stratton goes off course. A ton of dust is thrown into the air as Waters continues through. And Stratton just gives himself too much distance. It ends up not
come through this final section here, and he's going to actually end up spinning out right before the finish line, but it wouldn't really make a difference. He was so far behind, he didn't really have a fight there. And Waters, meanwhile, while he didn't have the greatest start on his chase, he was able to close the door and keep pressure on Stratton.
Let's go to the judges' verdict. Randall Waters gets the win, taking out Dirk Stratton as Dirk just went in too hard into is guaranteed at minimum 3rd place. Matt Van Kirk, Brodie Goble. Matt Van Kirk from Washington, Brodie Goble from also that portion of the but he's just across the border in Vancouver. And here is Randall Waters in the IS S14. Travis Reeder. Interestingly enough, Travis Reeder, the only driver that is potentially going back-to-back podiums, but he's got to get through Randall Waters first. But right now, Van Kirk and Brodie Goble. Brodie Goble. 3 more battles left to find out who's on the podium here at round 2. Remember, tomorrow is game day for the pro drivers. 4 bye runs advancing into the top 16. Tick-tock, here we go. Lights are out, and the headlights are on. Here we go, Brodie Goble out front. Van Kirk giving himself a jump on the competition. Will it pay off? Well done by Van Kirk. Goble, once again, strong up the hill. Just a little bit of brown smoke goes up. Little brown cloud as Van Kirk right there on the door of Goble, and back down. The first becomes the last. We're talking about the clipping points. Matt Van Kirk, great composure there in that chase position. Let's look at this again.
Well, we're really starting to see these drivers tighten up their game here. You can see Goble has a little bit of a trouble on initiation. Van Kirk, like you said, gets the jump, doesn't want to let Goble get away. Now, he does let him get away a little bit here up the hill. We've seen this for a lot of drivers. Goble drops a couple tires for a second, gets a little bit of dirt out there, tries to get deep into that zone. Van Kirk is able to close the door here, and a good transition right here as he comes through the smoke line, not to allow Goble to run away too far. But Goble is putting on a huge smoke cloud there. He has good angle, just a little bit long on that last inside clip. So both drivers with some high points here, and we've got ourselves a good battle on hand, our first battle in the Final Four. Now Van Kirk will go to the lead position, and Brodie Goble will chase him down.
Van Kirk, I really hat tip to him on that jump, and giving himself just enough of a jump, but not too far back, and really well done and executed as far as in that chase position. Can Brodie Goble do the same against Van Kirk? As again, the Achilles radial smoke filling the venue. See the teams waiting off in the distance. Van Kirk leading. Goble give chase. Again, if Goble advances on, he will have a shot at the win, but if he does not, Brodie Goble will still be on the podium in third place due to his highest qualifying position out of the Final Four. Van Kirk out front. Flicks it in. Van Kirk past that front clip. Brodie Goble comes in hot. Dips that front right toe into the dirt. From side to side, Van Kirk now out to the outside zone. Brodie Goble mixes it up, and Goble taking out that clip, and Van Kirk brings it on back. Oh, and Brodie Goble off course.
Well, Goble may have solidified his fate there in the last corner of the battle here. Both drivers look very, very strong in this run. You can see they're together right there through the first inside clip. Goble takes a transition on the inside to try to get a little bit more distance there, and it pays off for a second as you can see Van Kirk gets deep into the zone. Goble looking for an opportunity here to close the door even further through the smoke line, down the hill here, but watch this, he's going to lose his bumper, and that may have had an impact as he comes through the smoke line, and it possibly could have gotten underneath, and he goes way off course before the finish line. That right there is going to be the deciding factor in this battle.
All right, going to the judges, Goble and Van Kirk. Slide of left for Van Kirk, right for Goble. You have to assume, yes, and there it is. Looks like Matt Van Kirk. Oh, Andy actually said it one more time, but Matt Van Kirk gets the victory 2-1. So Matt Van Kirk is going to the finals. That means Brodie Goble gets third place. Brodie Goble gets third place here in Atlanta. Van Kirk going for the overall win, but it's going to be Waters and Reeder. Randall Waters, Travis Reeder. Reeder got second place in Orlando. Win a set of Drifts wheels. Again, tag a photo of you watching this weekend's event. Hashtag FDDRIFZ. That's spelled Drifts, DRIFZ, and enter to win a free set of wheels as ran by Odi Bakshis on his Falcon Tires V8 powered S14. So win a free set of Drifts wheels. Hashtag FDDRIFZ17. See Randall Waters. Randall Waters warming up his tires. And you can see Reeder waiting in the wings. Again, we have a hard midnight cut, as Ryan Sage informed me. Basically no cars, no engines, nothing after 12 o'clock. So we are down to the wire. But join us over at the podium ceremony. Just after this, it's right over here off in the distance. You can't miss it. It's up here at the top of the hill, no longer down in the paddock area. So again, thanks for joining us out here. Round 2 of the Pro2 Championship, round 3 of the Blackmagic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. Reeder wrapping up his warm-up session up at the top of the hill. and Waters and Reeder. The winner goes against Van Kirk. Matt Van Kirk going for the overall victory. And here we go. Waters out front. Reeder in the chase. Ripping in the ISS 14. Waters past the front clip. Well done by both the drivers. Reeder not exactly as much angle and not as close to Waters as the judges I'm sure would like to see. Out of the horseshoe goes Waters, and Reeder really lacking angle, kind of struggling there to hang with Randall Waters, another driver overcooking it there around that final clip.
Well, we're seeing Waters throttle up to people when he's in the chase position, and he's definitely running away from people in the lead. And it's mostly because I think his car build is so strong. It's not because he's taking these tight lines. You can see right there, Reeder struggles. I mean, Reeder needs to, he actually pulled angle out of the car in order to close the gap coming up the hill. And right here, Waters is just putting throttle down, pulling away from guys, big smoke, staying on the right line, and you can see Reeder right there having some trouble towards the end.
You can't miss the fact that Reeder definitely straightened up big time, leaving the horseshoe, driving out onto the downhill portion. You can actually see the inside left wheel lock up as he tries to pull the e-brake and get it back to angle. So that's pretty much an incomplete from my side of things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was completely straight there.
Yeah.
He was pretty much just driving along and then tried to reinitiate. So
trying to re-step it out.
he's going to have to put together a good lead run right now and hope that Randall makes a mistake.
Might have an all-new podium here compared to Orlando. Reeder, the only contender here that would be a repeat from Orlando. So I think that just shows, Ryan, would you agree that the variety and the talent pool in Pro 2?
Yeah, I think this Pro 2 class has been one of the most fun to watch. Orlando was a great event. We've seen some guys that have really put together some great car builds and then backed it up with some pretty solid driving. So, it's a great opportunity to prepare yourself for the pro division, and it's a lot of effort to be a pro driver, and this is where you cut your teeth.
Here we go. Travis Reeder out front. Randall Waters in the chase position. Reeder needs to put down a good runner as Waters just going to be dominant here. Oh, and we see some contact as Reeder now continues through the course. Waters. So we got a yellow flag here from the official. And Reeder makes it back up the course. So Ryan, unfortunate circumstance here. One, what's going on, and two, timing.
Well, it was interesting what Lantain piped in at, because it sounded like he wanted to give an incomplete to Reeder, and if this fault is on Waters here, that would be an incomplete for him.
Yeah.
And if all the judges agree with Lantain, then that would mean that the lead runs are going to be judged against lead runs, which may not necessarily result in a one more time. So they're going to have to watch both lead runs here, which it's possible that Waters could still get the win, I guess, in principle, but he would have an incomplete on his chase run, and then it would go down to the lead run comparison.
All right, so taking a look at this, what is going on here? So again, who's at fault?
Well, I feel like it's going to go to Waters at fault, which would mean that if that's either way, if it's the case, you're going to be looking at both lead runs, and according to Lantain, it sounds like that was the direction that he was leading in terms of Reeder having an incomplete. So that would be lead to lead comparison, and I guess that would probably be Waters. But let's see here. I mean, that's just me going off of what I recall from Waters' lead run.
Yeah, so a couple of us put the fault on Randall Waters in that situation right there for getting on the inside of Reeder and making contact with him and then going off course on his own. So here we go with the results.
All right, results are in. Ryan, Brian, and Andy. Travis slide him left, and there is a one more time from Ryan. And Brian says Travis Reeder. Andy says Travis Reeder gets the victory. So Reeder advances on, and Ryan, you said one more time, but if you could elaborate here,
Well,
they said
I
Reeder.
said one more time due to the fact that I gave Reader an incomplete on his chase run. The other judges perhaps did not do that. That would be the outcome. If they did not give Reader an incomplete on his chase run, then they could go forward with saying that he won due to the fact that Waters made that mistake on his chase.
Or it could be that if they did give him fault, then it would be lead to lead, and they thought that Waters did not have the better of the two leads.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Edgar, is that where you're at? All right. Well, when we come back, the finals are here for the Pro 2. Matt Van Kirk versus Travis Reader for the finals. Who's going to be high atop the podium? We already know Van Kirk, Reader, and Goble. Goble locks in third place. The other order we find out when we return here to Road Atlanta for round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro 2 Championship. Welcome back. The finals are here for Pro 2. Matt Van Kirk. We are approaching the midnight hour here. Matt Van Kirk, Travis Reader. Van Kirk already on the line. Can Travis Reader back it up? Another podium, or he is going to get a podium, but is he going to better his second place finish that we saw in Orlando? All right, so again, who's going to come out on top? And here comes Travis Reader, seeing thumbs up there from Matt Van Kirk. Brodie Goble waits in the wings. Remember, our podium ceremony right up here atop the hill. Come join us just after this. And we're ready to send it. Here we go. Matt Van Kirk out front. Travis Reader in the chase position. Van Kirk crawling off the start. Was that a clean start? All right, so we are finding out that.
Oh, that is very anticlimactic.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it sounds like on what we're hearing from the chatter is Van Kirk potentially has a mechanical, so he may have just killed his hopes here.
So Van Kirk. Wow, look at that, Ryan.
Wow.
You said anticlimactic. So look at this. Van Kirk, he does not have a competition timeout. He utilized it already. So unfortunately for Van Kirk, he is out. That means Travis Reader will have his bye run here and he will get the victory. So anticlimactic, but look, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to put it all together. Round of applause for Travis Reader. Looks like this is a victory lap for him in Pro 2. Remember, the action continues, and it's an all Achilles tire podium sweep as Brodie Goble grabs third place, Van Kirk grabs second, and then Travis Reader will get first place. So again, Travis Reader, his bye run, a bit of a victory lap. He betters. I don't know what you want from me. Talk to Van Kirk there, homeboy. As Travis Reader, again, a celebratory lap. Endured some contact, endured some battles, and there it is for Reader. He betters his run from in Orlando to now. So again, join us at the podium ceremony, and Travis Reader gets the victory. Matt Van Kirk breaks. He did not have a competition timeout to utilize. So Travis Reader gets the victory. Van Kirk grabs second, and Brodie Goble grabs third. So join us at the podium ceremony as we are just going to head on over directly to the podium, pass out some trophies. Congratulations to our 1, 2, and 3. The podium is right up here at the top of the hill. It's no longer down in the paddock area where the pits are. Again, the podium is up here on top of the hill.
Yeah, just basically Orlando's the first event with it. We're totally figuring everything out. First time here. Just stoked to be on the podium here. Wish we had a little bit more, but yeah, we're going to come out swinging hard in Seattle, our home track. That's what's next. So Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for hanging around, sticking out tonight, and watching Pro2.
All right, there you go. Brodie Goble grabbing third place. And now it just came down to the wire. Again, the Drift-O-Matic. Seen this guy, different driving. He is a driver from, again, the Pacific Northwest. So without further ado, second place is Matt Van Kirk. Get on up here, the Drift-O-Matic. Well, you know, you've had that logo on there for so long. Congratulations to you. But man, you know, have you ever competed here in Atlanta before?
No, it's my first time actually on the East Coast. I was nervous coming into the event. First actually turn I made this whole practice yesterday, I actually flew off the track, so I was a little bummer there, but we got the car dialed in. We snapped the axle, first qualifying run, team busted ass. We swapped the axle. And Juku, I want to be here if it wasn't for a Juku, so big thanks to Juku for loaning me that axle. And we got that axle and we qualified and we put on a great show. We're looking forward to we in trials for 1-2 last year in the Pro-Am Championship Evergreen. So we were looking so forward to battling out, banging each other's doors, but unfortunately we snapped an axle and he actually broke a dog ring at the end. So we'll be better luck in Seattle and hopefully back at it, battling each other.
Right in your home track, right? You're going to throw down. All right, last but definitely not least, he goes back-to-back podium. He betters his second place finish to Orlando with the overall win. Get up here. Your winner here at round 2 of the Pro2 Championship. It is Travis Reeder. There you are. There's your 1-2.
Look at me, guys. Woo! Is that a wrap? No, here. Chicken. What's that? Good, Larry? Yeah, good.
All right, so again, congratulations to you guys and gals, and again, is this thing long enough? Travis, you're back up here again. I know you thanked your grandparents last time. You're kind of at a loss for words, but now, I mean, this is an iconic track. How does it feel to drive this, and what this event and this win overall means to you?
It's crazy. I mean, the track is awesome. It's hard to put into words, like you said. I mean, it's so smooth, it's fast, it's like, but again, I've only driven 3 other tracks before this, so it's wild to be here. It's like, once again, no words. I'm bad at this.
Well, he wants to thank his grandparents again, right? All right, there you go. Well, again, you better get used to it because that's back-to-back podium. Congratulations. Here's your 1, 2, and 3 at the second round of the Pro2 Formula Drift Championship. We'll see you guys back there tomorrow as we hand over some champagne.
Oh, I can't see.